Hey, everybody. Happy Thursday. Welcome to the Inner Truth Collective podcast with yours truly, Melissa Gorecki, your host. So, I hope everybody had a great week last week. I know this week has been super busy for me, and I appreciate everybody's time for popping on and hanging out with me. But tonight is going to be a different type of show, and this is how I'm going to be doing it moving forward. So basically, from now until when my season wraps, I'm already booked. I already have people for every week until like April. So tonight is my first guest, and it is my friend Tiana Parker. And I met her a few years ago. I'm going to tell you a little bit about her before I bring her on, because I have to tell you how crazy my world is that I wind up meeting people from the internet. I wind up meeting internet strangers that become my friends. I am just lucky like that. So I met Tiana on Facebook, and over time, I have watched her transform, and she's incredible. She's incredible. She does a lot for the community. She's an incredible mother. I love watching her posts. I love watching her praise her kids and hype them up because we need more of that. She's absolutely incredible. Let me bring her on. She's from Beaufort, South Carolina. So let me bring her in. Hello, hello, hello. Can you hear
Greetings,
me?
everybody. Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear
Hi.
me?
I
Greetings,
got you.
love. Greetings. How are you?
I am good. Thank you for being here with me tonight. I'm so happy that you're here because you're one of my favorite Facebook
Yay!
friends.
Hey, listen, reflections, sis. Reflections. Yes,
I love
absolutely.
and I love that because when you joke around and you're like aware, not everybody gets it, but I know me and you, I get you.
Mhm.
I love your blurbs that you put out, your thoughts. I love that you do that because that's what we're supposed to be doing. People are scared. You're not. You're
You know
not.
what that is? You know what that
I
is?
love
Like literally, we were conditioned to that's called self-silencing. So
it. Yep.
from the time you are born, and especially more so as a woman, there's a role, a gender role, or per se a role of things you should be doing, and you develop these ideals in your head, and they kind of make you think that, oh, if I say something, nobody's gonna like me. If I say something, I'm gonna
Hmm.
have to deal with the repercussions of it. If I say something, that could damage me. So we let the thoughts in our head stop us from externalizing those internal thoughts, which is it leads to illness, it leads to mental
Yep.
issues. Like, so it's called self-silencing, but we've been conditioned to do so. And it affects women. If it affects everybody, but
Hmm.
women more so than men.
Oh yeah. Well, women, of course. Well, because
Yeah,
everybody wants us to shut up. So
absolutely.
I'm like, everybody wants us to shut up. But that's because we're so powerful. And even from what we're even going to talk about right now, women are very resilient. And I have watched you over the last year that you lost your mom. It's been a year, right?
It's been, girl, this 2 years. Two
Two
years.
already?
Yep, yep.
Well, this is what I was saying to you before. So we've known each other now since 2020. So now,
Absolutely.
first of all, I can't believe it's even been that long. And I feel like your mom just has been gone like only a tiny bit of time, but I know for you it's like forever.
Yeah.
But I watched you take that pain and transmute it and turn it into purpose. And I know she would be so freaking proud of you for doing that because a lot of people will take that pain and they just go and sit with it and they let it engulf them and they turn into a monster and their hearts get hard,
Yes.
you
I felt
know?
myself going there initially, baby, to come out of the hole that I had already, and it's all about willpower. Like people put out all the tragedies and the things that they've gone through, but it's really
Hmm.
about willpower to move forward, to go to the next
Yep.
day. And to make sure if you didn't like the day before, that you live it way better than you did yesterday.
Girl,
Um,
yes.
but it was willpower because I really was. now that I'm on the outside in hindsight looking at it, I was in I was in self pity, like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do without my mom? I, like,
But that's
hey,
totally normal, though. Of course, you're going to feel like
yes,
that, you know? But we beat ourselves up too. And I can only tell you from like when my mom died, like, you literally internalize it. Like, for me, I was like, well, why did she leave me?
yep,
Why? What about me?
yep,
Meanwhile, this poor lady was dying.
yep,
The poor lady was dying. And I'm like, what about me? And I was like, oh, but I was 16. I didn't know. But even
right.
if I was 40, and even if it was now, I'd still be doing the same thing
You know
because it's
why? 'Cause,
normal.
yeah, I was like, yo,
It's your
my mom ain't never
person.
died before. My mom ain't never died
Hmm.
before, so I definitely have never done this before. You know, like,
Nope, sure
yeah,
haven't.
it was definitely like it's enlightening to be honest. Like I know, I sound sometimes, I'm emotional as ever about it, but it's enlightening to just see that, yo, that shorty equipped me with everything that I needed. Everything.
Right.
And I knew that because I had been an adult. When my mom passed away, my son was 17.
Hmm.
He was already, of age. He could get around. He already knew what he knew. He was driving, so um like it wasn't like, oh, what am I gonna do with these kids? Because my mother really used to be with my children like she was the father. You know how
Uh,
those grandmothers do. They treat the grandkids totally different from how they discipline the children.
but I think that's because, too, like, think about it. Our parents really didn't know what they were doing. Like,
Right.
look, my
Definitely not.
girl, listen. Listen, unless your parents really like are in the know. No one knows what they're doing.
Absolutely.
Everybody's just doing as good as they can. That's why, like, my dad, me and Tangenique joked. We were like, yeah, our parents left us on the back burner and turned it up high because nobody was parenting.
But I think we had a sense of fear for some reason. Maybe it was what was going on around us. So truly and
Yeah.
honestly, it was almost like a understanding that don't make me have to say something to you, otherwise it's coming with consequences. And we knew that because there were really consequences.
She's
Like
like,
now,
no, they
we
really
threaten the kids now and be like, "Don't make me." A lot of people say this, and y'all listen. I promise you, I say this, but I probably should have hit my kids. I don't, but I said, don't make me slap you in the back of your head or something like that. But they know I wasn't gonna slap them in the back of their head, so that's why they didn't care about the threat.
right.
If
So
my
that's
mama had to
my
even look at me and squint her eye a little bit, I knew that was coming with some repercussions. Nowadays, no, and we want to blame everybody else for our kids except for us.
it's only us. But
Yes.
it's only us. And that's the hardest part too. Like,
Everybody except for us. We want to blame everybody else. We
mhm.
put the
But that's with
responsibility on everybody.
everything. But that's a big thing, even with anybody. The accountability that no one wants to take. And I remember when I had my awakening, it was so humbling. I was sitting there one day and I was like, wait, your life's fucked up like this because of you?
Yep. Our,
Ma'am,
our
I had
choices.
enough.
Our
I was done with it.
choices.
I was like, you know
Definitely.
what? Forget it.
But I'm sure you understand it because it was so much easier to do everything that was wrong. And now that you're so conscious of how you move and the energy you put out, it's like, wait a minute, hold up. Nah, you know what? I'm not even gonna deal with that because it's gonna be dealt with. Like
Yep.
really, I have those kind of moments. It's like, hold up, shorty, you're not 15 anymore. You can't be acting out like that. Like with people watching you, and whether you care what they say or not, you still have a responsibility because they're watching you. You put
Mm-hmm.
yourself out there to be watched, so you have a responsibility.
Right. Yep. No, I get that. Like, for me, I think the biggest thing for me was like really sitting with myself and just knowing that first it's trusting myself to know what I'm doing because I know what I'm doing. Other people might not know, but that's not my problem. But I think it's also like when you align with your highest self, you see, like, all right, it's something that, what is his name? Earl Nightingale. He has this thing, it's called the magic word. And it's respect or something. I forget even what it is right now. But basically, he says, like, while everybody's out there acting like animals, you take it upon yourself to know that's where they're at. Be okay with it. I see you. I don't have to move like you. I see you. And now I will long handle spoon feed you, but I don't have to move like that. And I know I can communicate in a way that puts me in an advantage. I can get into rooms that people, because they don't know how to talk to people. They're
Absolutely.
so rude and disgustingly mean for no reason. And I'm
So
like,
listen, baby. Speaking of, okay. So you know when you go on your memories on social media, right? I
mm-hmm,
opportunity to reflect on me, and like I can even see my growth, right? But I was like, yo, I was really in a low vibrational place at one point because I was speaking at people, like literal, like I wasn't
right.
talking to people, I was speaking at them. And then what's crazy is I was aware that I was speaking at them because, but I was like, yeah, who's gonna check me? But how you can put out that kind of energy and not expect to see it back, you know? So it was like I don't know, but like
But when you're in your truth, though, when you are in your truth and you know that you're not trying to hurt anybody's feelings, if you're just speaking your truth, it's not your fault how people perceive you. And that's why
absolutely.
you speak it anyway, because you don't know who needs to hear it. That's why, like, but I do know, like, making it palatable for people, even like all the truthers that are on like TikTok. Within like 2 seconds, people are like, all right, where's your tinfoil hat? Instead of them being like a thoughtful delivery, like I'm putting it to you like this so it's palatable. People don't do that. They start rambling. They're like, the earth is not, it's not flat, but it could be this. And I got my hat on and my tinfoil's outside. And it's like, stop. Just just talk. Just talk regular. Because everybody makes shit a thing. They make it
Okay.
a thing. Because
So
people are
like
like, oh, what are you? And I'm like, a person. What are you? Like, what am I supposed to be? They're like, yeah, you're a high priestess, or you're this and that. And I'm like, whatever you feel like you need to call me.
yeah, a
I
title, like really a title.
I'm everything. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what these, even the things, the gifts that we have, I don't know what, I didn't even know they were things because they're just who I am. So like at one point we were doing remote viewing. I didn't know it was like a thing. It was something I could do, but I could always do it. It wasn't something I learned. I just closed my eyes and do it. I just didn't know people had a title for it. So when I started having all like my little activity, like my knowing and my clairaudience and all this psychic shit, everybody's like, but because I don't give it a title, they don't know what to say. Is she a psychic? How does she know these things? Why does she know them? Like people want to give it all this shit, and it's like, I'm just making coffee and like eating chicken nuggets. I really don't know what the fuck is going on. I just show up like this every day. And however it works is what we're doing.
Girl,
I don't
and
need
but you know what? Whether there's a title to it or not, it's an aura that gives off about you when you enter a room. It's the energy that you give off. So they want us to identify it with a title, but it's genuine. It's
it's
genuinely
just
us, like
love.
genuine.
It's
So
just love.
yeah, I don't have a title for it either. I just sometimes I overly love. Like I'm like, yo, my heart chakra has to be like up to shatter now. Like seriously, it has got to be overused. It's overactive.
I remember I remember when I was having like my moments of like playing, not, I don't even want to say playing around, but I was, because I didn't really know what I was doing. This was all like self-guided shit that I was doing. But I heard to like work with my chakras, right? So now for me, how they work is like, so your sacral chakra, right? Once you go into that part of the trauma, and the sacral is all sexual and all that shit. Once you go in that and like unlock it and clear it, then you move up. So now you're in, you know, so like as you're going up the levels, you're spinning your energy centers. So I like the sacral goes, solar plexus goes, heart. I felt my heart actually crack. I felt my chakra. It felt like a I felt it because my heart was so hardened. And I will never forget, it was literally going into a clubhouse room and somebody told me I wasn't weird. They said I was unique and that I should be heard because what I had to say was valuable. And that changed everything. And it was a man that said it to me. It was
So
a man.
I think you gave me a download. Like, I have been having like some of the weirdest pains in the area to do with my sacral chakra. I
Mm.
really feel like I didn't.
Yep. I just told you how to clear
Yes,
it. There you go.
yes, but I think it was you that sent me the information that showed me how our chakras like related to the planets. Wasn't that you?
See, I love this shit. This shit is my shit. This is my shit. This is what people don't understand. Like, when you really sit and talk to me, this is what I'm talking about. Like, literally 3 weeks ago, I took my birth chart, I looked up the planets, I wrote them down. I found the music notes that corresponded to the planets
Ooh.
and wrote the song of me for my birthday.
Wow.
This is for why? I don't know. It's
No, I
just
said
something
wow.
I just heard to do it. I
Wow.
heard to do it. But that's what I mean. Like when we listen and like really, I know people don't believe in this shit. But like we literally are energy bodies. This
Absolutely.
vessel is filled with a substance. Like people don't get
And how I make people, how I even plant the seed to get it to grow in people's head. When they're talking about, who we are, and I'm telling them, yo, we made up out of energy, right? They're like, no, we're not raw out of you. I said, well, why they can use when you flatline, if you're at the
the
hospital,
paddles. Yep.
why is it that they can bring you back to life with electricity? Tell me why.
Yeah. I
Oh,
know.
that usually get them. You hear me?
Well, that's what I use. It's funny because that's the exact thing that I use to say to people. I'm like,
Ooh.
that's why we can jumpstart your heart with electric, right? Because see, people really don't understand who they
Ooh.
are.
It's deep. That right there.
Not even that part, the energy. People don't even know how their bodies are working.
Nope, we don't. And listen, we don't, and that's why we put the stuff in it that we put in it, because we don't
Yep.
know how it works. We don't know what it holds on to. We don't know what happens. We don't even talk about parasites anymore. But the first thing they will
Oh, girl.
a parasite, when that is probably the number one issue in everybody's
I
health.
absolutely. Because even in Australia, they do it every 6 months. So
Parasite.
I bought the stuff. I tried it.
What happened?
These things will crawl out of your skin,
Ah,
not just out of your when you go to the
seriously?
bathroom. Because you excrete them when you poop.
Right,
Okay,
but out the
fine.
skin?
They come out of your skin and they can come out of your fucking eyeballs, and that's why I stopped doing it once they started coming out of my skin. But I
Ooh, no, I
know.
can't. I can't. I can't.
But you know what, though? Honestly, they're better out than in. And I looked into doing it again. But there's a woman on TikTok. Her name is Worm Queen Kim or something crazy like that. But she has a whole regimen, and it's a very low, not low, but it's a less traumatic version of a thing because she has like steps to it. Like it's a gentler cleanse
I
than
just
doing it
don't.
like it's crazy. They're like little, it's weird. It's weird. The whole thing's weird. They're in your poop, they're everywhere. They're in your body, they're everywhere. They're everywhere.
Ooh,
They're
because
freaking everywhere.
when you were younger, did they ever say don't eat that or that you're gonna get worms from eating that? That was a real thing.
Well, that's the thing. Like I think of all first of all, I stopped eating pork because I watched how they fed the pigs
Mm.
and what they fed them, that they were feeding them actual garbage.
Yeah.
And then we're eating the pig that's
Right.
actual garbage.
So understand this. I know you know, but we wonder why we go through some of those psychotic issues we have, and we want to blame it on
The
hormones.
food.
Baby, it's the energy that coming from what we eating.
Yeah, these
So think
pigs,
about it.
first of all,
That pig,
mm,
that pig done consumed. They feed humans pigs.
garbage.
They feed humans to pigs, like the get rid of
Yeah,
that.
they do to
Yeah,
get rid of them. Yep.
yes. So like, but just imagine how much. So they absorbing all that DNA, right? So we eating this, right? So why is it not intertwining with our DNA?
That's why for me, like I don't eat fish. I've never been a big fish eater, but I don't eat fish because the water is contaminated.
It
I
is.
don't eat vegetables because I have an issue with the texture. That's just number one. But number two, I don't eat them because they're in the soil with the chemicals. So that get rained on with the rainwater with the chemicals. So I'm just fresh out of, I don't need any. I got this far. My blood work, I've never been healthier. I don't eat any vegetables
So
because you don't have to. That's a fucking, everything we've been told's a fucking lie. Everything's a lie. Everything that they tell you is backwards. So like I eat a lot of fruit,
okay.
not a lot, not as much as I used to. I used to eat a lot more. I mean, I'm getting back into eating better because I want to. I heard something the other day talking about how, because we're electrical bodies, the point of eating is to eat electrical food to
Yes,
give
sun
you
food.
power.
Sun,
But just, it was just the way he's like, I know these things, but the way he said it, I was like,
think
duh.
about food
So,
charged by the sun. So like,
yep.
so why? But why?
Because we are plants.
Yeah,
We're plants. We have chlorophyll in us. People don't even know
they
these
drink
things.
it
Like,
now, and I think they know because they got
I
it
know.
out.
So have you ever tried? So if you've ever tried it, it's very refreshing, and it's supposed to be a natural deodorant.
Oh,
I don't use deodorant. First of all, I haven't used deodorant in years, like a decade at least. I
okay.
have not worn deodorant in years because I watched my aunt. This woman came to me and asked me to look at a boil under her armpit. And because I like to play doctor, I lanced it to get whatever was in it out. I had a suture kit just in case. I open it up, I get it out. It's deodorant. A big knob
All
of
of the,
deodorant.
but you know that's animal fat.
Aluminum. It was
So
aluminum.
okay, so
So
they do.
all like the aluminum in the deodorant from her putting it on
Oh,
over the years, it
okay,
was a
okay.
it when I took it out, it was a bowl of deodorant of aluminum. So I like we smushed it on the napkin and it was all shiny. So
Wow.
after I saw that, I never wore deodorant again. I detoxed my armpits with baking soda and lemon. And I did that. But they say once you detox your armpits, because you're clogging the pores, and that's what makes you smell.
Yes.
Who knew? So everybody's putting this shit on and they
But
stink.
so that's what I'm talking about. The animal fat that they use to mix it with it to make it
Hmm.
binder. That's what that is.
It
That's
gets
animal fat. So like
clogs it.
how be like, oh well, I'm a vegan. If you use any deodorant out that contains any bit of because it's got animal fat in it. Lard.
Yep. Well,
Lard is
even
call it.
like the gelatin's made with
Yes.
pork.
Yes, it absolutely is.
And people are like, what? And I'm like, yeah, like I'm sitting here like I don't eat pork, but meanwhile, I eat like gummy worms, and I'm like, oh
Oh
shit.
yeah.
Because at first it didn't occur to me because I wasn't thinking that Jello would be made with pork. It just didn't occur to me. And then once I found out, I was like, oh, I can't eat that now. Like, it's just because there's things that, like, if you're going to go out of your way to pay attention to what you're doing,
Mm-hmm.
why fuck it up with something stupid? Like, I want to be healthy. I don't want to eat this stuff. So I'm actually going out of my way to be like, all right, let me do it like this so that I can get this result. And then there you get the pitfalls of all the foods that have things in them you don't even know. Like, I was eating A1 the other day. It was the store brand. It wasn't like A1, but it was like Stop and Shop steak sauce. And on the side it said there were bioengineered ingredients.
Oh, you know what that means.
In A1 in
Yep.
steak sauce? What could you possibly bioengineer in that?
That's keep telling us that they got mercury in it and stuff that shouldn't be in it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, so let me ask you this. Now, okay, everybody loves chicken, right? I love chicken. I love wings. I love all of it, right? How many chickens do you really think there are in the world?
Now you talking about, you gonna ask me. Cat Williams already told the world that it's something funny about that. How is it that you can get chicken drumsticks? There's a shortage in wings, but there's not a shortage in drumsticks when the chicken got the same amount of
Ugh,
legs that it has
it
wings.
doesn't make any sense.
Right.
Like,
So
where are all
Cat
these
says that.
cows?
He says that in World War. So, like, they really, they throw stuff out at us and we don't think about it and we just accept it.
Mm-hmm.
But some of us are woke since they want to call it
Well,
something.
I
And
know.
we know it's in the chicken. Like, they did a
But
whole
like,
movie on it. They put it in our face. Who cloned Tyrone? They tell you in that movie
mm-hmm.
it is in the chicken. So
Well,
I don't know what I was watching, but I saw something and it was talking about, people say when they're going to be eating lean and they're going to be eating, they go eat ground turkey and they eat chicken. Those are the worst ones to eat.
mm,
They're lab grown.
I,
The chicken are being like they're
I
being
feel like
had no heads.
the fucked up thing is that, like, a couple years ago, I watched this thing on Amazon, and I forget what it was called, but it was showing like the way everything was treated before they killed it. And because of energy and because of who we are, these animals are sentient beings. Okay. Like, my cat is smarter than most people, but whatever. But these animals are sitting there and they're like scared because they know they're getting killed.
Yep.
So you're eating these trauma-ridden animals. And I don't care, because I know people are rolling their eyes listening to this. No, really. They're scaring the shit out of these animals, and then you're eating that. So you're
Yeah.
taking in this energy of scared trauma, which that's just one part. Not to mention the trauma that you have passed down from generation to generation, because literally, and I love talk, this is like one of my favorite things to talk about. So when we are in our moms, right? When our mom is pregnant with us, we already have all the eggs we're going to have. So our mom has us in them, and we have our eggs in us. So our moms carried our children also.
Yep.
But that being said, your mom was in your mom, in your grandma,
Yep.
in her mom, with whatever trauma she had to deal with. Now, my grandma, she was a mom of 5 kids. The 2 boys were a fucking train wreck. That poor lady, those were her sons, and like ran her into the ground. So the trauma that she had from her mom and her grandma and all these people, and now here I am like, no more. No more. We're not doing that anymore.
You're dealing with all that, right? You're dealing with the trauma from the things you're putting in your body. You're dealing with the trauma from the things that you have generationally. And then now here you are on the outside world and you're dealing with the world beating up on you as well.
That's why I love this saying. I love everyone and everyone loves me. And at first, when I said it the first time, I was like, this is bullshit. But but as I say it, I believe it now. Because if you really love yourself, you can love everyone else.
Yes. If
Even
I
if they're
can.
assholes.
Yeah, if I can, you can definitely love them. Now, listen, now there's no,
It doesn't mean you have to
people like,
talk to them. You can still love
right,
them
right. So that's where I was
from a
going at.
distance.
That's exactly but I don't like, okay, so my brother and I, when people die, dynamics change. Things
Mm,
change because everything is temporary. So
yep.
my brother and I haven't spoken in probably almost 2 years, okay? And my mom's been gone for a little over 2 years. December 15th made 2 years. But
Mm,
I don't wish no harm on my brother. Like, initially I was angry with him. I was emotional. So I was like, oh, I'll do something to hurt him myself. But at this point, nobody better not do nothing to my little brother. Nobody better
right.
not, like for real. Like my number one. I'm trying. Like, I really want him to get it together and love on his kids so they don't have to fight so hard for sanity at this
Yep.
point. So no, I don't have no, like, and we went through it, baby. So, but no, I don't have time to return no malice to sender, return no, that no,
Mm-mm.
I'll take it and send
I
it.
send love and healing. I
Yeah,
send you love and healing to everybody.
I'm not. There's some of that energy so gross. I wouldn't wish that on you. And even if you send it out to me,
Mm-mm.
you know what I mean. Some of it's real ugly.
Well, I love when so whenever I'm on TikTok or wherever and people are like running their mouths and I'm always like, whatever you say about me comes back to me times 10, reversed. Like you cannot spit. A lot of people, they don't even know they're sending the bad energy to you, but it's literally a thought. A thought is like a negative attack
Yes.
because a thought becomes a thing. But people don't even think like that. So they're thinking badly about everybody and it's going to come back to you because it has to. It's a law like of
Yes.
the universe.
Yes, it is.
So I always like for the last like 2.5 years, I've been practicing like at the end of everything I'm writing, I'll write like I send love and healing to so and so because, and then insert why they need it. And it's because I know if I send that out, love and healing, of course I want more of that. So that's what I'm going to tell you that I'm sending to you because I want more of it.
And
So I'm going to focus on it.
yeah, I do something similar. Like I affirm healing and love and that kind of thing. I affirm it though for my community, for the people that don't even love me. Like, it's crazy because I always throw that part in there. Like, even for the people that don't like me. Like, yeah, I want them to,
Yep.
because it's not them, it's something on them, and it whatever it is about me that they don't like, they don't even understand. And that's the thing
It's
about
something in them.
yeah,
It's not you, it's something
right.
in them that they're looking at you and they're going,
Yeah.
because they're mad because they can't be you. That's all.
But I don't wish them no harm anymore. Like,
Mm-mm.
and I'm learning to take the red flags when I see it, but I'm not collecting them no more. When I see a red flag, I used to struggle because I was a people pleaser, not knowing that I was people pleasing just simply because I thought, yeah, I don't feel like the confrontation. No, it's because I didn't want them to be upset with me, or because I didn't want, them to go sit and gossip about me, or it was always something external that made me, not move authentically. But at this point, if you interrupt my energy, like, this is the time for us to be around each other. You know what? I'm gonna take that flag. I'm dropping it right where it stands, but I'm going the opposite direction, or I'm gonna step over it and keep on moving. One of the two. But
Mm-hmm.
not with you, because
Well,
we're
because
not.
if you don't, it's at your detriment. And
Yeah,
no one's circling back to go, are you okay? No one
yeah.
cares.
And you get stuck in that energy. You get stuck in that space. You have to deal with that. So no, we're not doing that anymore. And I'm glad I'm
There's
ready.
there's too many times that people are so like for people pleasing. I understand. We want people to like us.
Mm.
But if you have to do something for someone to like you, they don't like you. So why does everyone want to prove or get validated? And I know why, because I used to be me. But like seeing it from this point of view, I'm like, the only person I care cosigns me is me. But I'm lucky that I got there because there's so many people who
Mm,
die and never get there. Where they're like, I don't need you. Because honestly, if I needed somebody to co-sign me the whole time, I'd still be making chicken nuggets with my hand up my ass.
absolutely.
That's
Like,
what I'd be doing.
but imagine, listen, so if I sat on waiting for approval, right? Baby, so I y'all, let me tell y'all, I work in this community. And I really keep on saying it's not because I want to, but it gotta be because I want to. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing it.
Of
But
course you
I'm
would.
definitely
Exactly.
called to do it because the way things align. But y'all, I work. I really do. But and it's always been the same purpose. But as I go back and look over to my notes, look at the flyers we had. Okay, so they used to call me Fight the Power because I
Mhm.
I've never been okay with injustice. I've never been okay with mistreating people. I've been
Mhm.
school at no, I don't get in anything. But don't pick on that kid over there because they don't have the same kind of shoes. So
Yep. Yep.
I've always been in a higher energy. Always though, like
Same.
even as a, I remember being protective of my little cousins when I was the little cousin of the cousin. So like I've always been that. So so that's where my name came from on social media to my yacht. The goddess
Yep.
of
The
yeah.
truth. Yep.
So and when I ran into that information, I was like, oh my gosh, that is so me.
So a couple weeks ago, I was sitting here, and how it works for me is I am kind of like a spiritual librarian. So books like come to me. So even when I went into our chat to look back, I
Mm.
looked at a book that I happened to send you, and it's so funny because I was just thinking about it. It was the abundance book. And as I go through, these books like come to me. Long story short, about 2, 3 months ago, I get this like download to go listen to this thing on TikTok. I'm like listening. It talks about Hecka magic. So now I know magic is very real. It's very real. Like the Diamond Sutra, that book is a magic book. It's a sacred book. That book threw me into my awakening. That book threw me into my awakening with the words. It's a spell book. But see,
Mm.
no one told me that until after. And they said, oh, well, we didn't know who would respond. So I know there was like something deeper to it that was going on at the time because they were trying to see who responded to knowing the information. And I just happened to know it. I don't know how I knew 10,000-year-old Buddhist text. I don't know, but I just happened to know it. But they were trying to see who knew it though.
But you speak of spells, that's how they trick us, right? They put this language out, right? And
Well,
we are
that's why you have to know. That's why you
yeah,
have to know how to cast the spells. That's why you have to know, and then you do it. So that's why with the Hecka magic. So now Hecka magic, I start reading, and it's ancient Egyptian, and ancient Egyptian shit and me is just like one and the same. Ancient Egypt, me, and I don't know what the connection is with Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln had me at the Washington had me in the fucking Library of Congress.
I can't
Okay.
believe you called that man's name though, because I was gonna ask you, do you listen to Abraham Hicks when you were talking about you listen to? And here you go bringing up Abraham name. So look at the signs now. I don't know what it is significant about Abraham, but something significant
It's
about
something I'm telling you,
it.
me and Abraham Lincoln, I don't know what the
Yeah,
connection is. He comes through every once in a while for me. And like literally, I swear to God, like I have a fucking library card for the Library of Congress in DC because me and Tangenique, we kept hearing different things. We start connecting dots. We're doing research. We wind up, oh my God, we need to get here to the Library of Congress. And like I made it like my mission to get there. And I actually got there like a couple months ago. So it was like so crazy how it even there's something with me with books. I don't know if I'm like an Akashic record reader or something. I just, there's something the books talk through. Like there's just a lot for me with the books and the connections, but even like Jefferson, like not the president, the word Jefferson pops up for me all the time. I don't know what the connection is there either. It's just like
Money.
random. Oh, please, please, please. You know, as I'm doing this, I'm laughing because I showed Grace this today. So if you rub your hands together, right, and then you start like, because it's an
Ooh,
energy
that's the
center. These
ball.
are
That's the ball.
these are these are because these are energy centers, and no
Yep,
one.
energy ball.
So when I was little, my mom used to tell me to stick my hands together, right, and she would run her fingers over my knuckles, and she'd be like, "All right, pull apart," and it would feel like a pull. And I was like, how'd she do that? But now that I know about energy, so I had Grace I had her rub her hands and then do a ball. And she was like, why can I feel that? And I'm like, everyone can do it. They just don't know.
But and also why we even had to go all the way to using that machine to pump your heart back when y'all don't remember them time. You can shock somebody with your finger. Don't you get shocked with electricity?
Andrew touches me and he's like, ow, all the time.
Yeah.
Because I know that I'm such a high frequency that I shock people all the time. I shock people all the time.
Okay.
All the time.
Quick. How do somebody just sent me a message and asked to send the link? What link do I send?
Oh wait, hold on. So it's on. Hold on. Let me. I'm gonna share it on your Facebook. Hold on.
Okay, cool.
Because I have it live on mine.
I can go.
Let's see.
Actually.
Oh yeah, go to my page and share it off there.
Okay.
Yeah, no. There's a lot. Like energy is so crazy, and I think it's incredible that we're not taught this stuff. However, I know why they don't want us to know these things. Like I understand why they don't want you to know how powerful that we really are. Because if we knew, we would actually like use it. But that's why I think it's so crazy. Like as I'm going and doing all these things and over the years, even as I'm learning how to navigate and like transmute energy and do all these things, it's something everybody could do. They just either aren't aware. But even sometimes when you tell them, they don't believe you. They don't want to believe you because it's scary and something different.
Or that's what I was about to say. Maybe they do believe you, but they don't want to be responsible for having to, get more of that knowledge and actually doing the work to change. A lot of people they hear you and they'll look at you and admire you, but not understand that you're really doing work to get there. Like this ain't I'm gonna go to sleep and I'm gonna say a prayer and wake up new. No, you really have to.
This is some other shit. Yeah, no. This is the craziest thing for me is that this is like my life's work myself. I am my life's work. And I think when I got to that place, okay, so for me, God works through all of us. So if God's working through me, God's going to want to give me the highest experience I can get. Why would God want to? Because God's trying to experience more of itself. Why would it want to suffer? Who told us that we have to suffer? The church, right?
Yes.
The church, the Bible, everybody. So like the same way they're telling you have to suffer and that you have to go talk to a priest to talk to God. I always knew that was bullshit. I would sit in church and I'd be like, if I have to come here, like, why do I have to go through the priest?
Listen, so we had there was a group of females who have become my sisters at this point, minus one. Like I said, there's always somebody there's always something going on, and the energy just was off. So, instead of battling it, you gotta guess it by, like, literally, because we're on a point of elevation. So, but that was one of the questions we had. We were on some stuff like, yeah, we're not going the through the son to get to the father. Like, well, I got to talk to somebody else to get to, who I need to talk to. You know what? They gave us that reference, right? But we didn't understand it the right way, because when they saying you're going through the sun, they literally mean you're going through the sun in the sky.
Right. Yep.
That's what that meant. We missed it initially, and if you don't have the downloads and run into that information out there, or nobody shares it with you, you're still going to think that they're talking about, you having to go to somebody else to get to God when you're already a God. Why I say that? Okay, so if a duck have a duck, what if a duck have a baby, what is it? A baby duck?
Mm-hmm.
If a deer have a baby, regardless of what you call it, it's still a baby deer, right?
Yeah.
Well, why we the children of God and we're not gods?
Well, I know that people, I remember when I first started going around, like, okay, so when I first started going on Clubhouse, I just thought I met people that were like me. It was like the first time I ever was around people that actually talked like me. And I remember at that time, I still wasn't at a place where I was like, oh, yeah, God, God, God. Like, I didn't believe in God. I knew there was something bigger. And this was only 4 years ago. Even though I came from a family where I was at church every Sunday. I was cleaning the church. Blech. I want to like vomit. For real. I want to vomit that I was doing that shit. Vomit. Because you want to know what? When I was leaving, I wasn't going to leave the church. I left because when they were actually doing the service for my dad, when he died, they were sitting there, and of course I'm crying because my dad's dead, right? The priest comes up to me. He goes, you really got to quiet down. You got to relax.
Whoa.
I said, that's my dad and he's dead. I was like, I will never fucking come here again. And I never went back. And it was only when I sat and had my awakening that I really sat and realized, like, no, there is no sky daddy, right? There's no sky daddy. There's no outside source. Everything we need, everything we have is already in us. We are the source. God's the source of your supply. And for me, God like works to and through us to help other people. So like when something good happens for us, I'm always like, thanks. Because I know that was like a helping hand for me from someone else. Like I get very lucky where I meet people that just like, even before when you were like, wait, with the chakra thing, like I'm very lucky when I talk to people, I get the answers I need. For instance, the other day, we go to like the plant center because I needed potting soil. We couldn't find the pots. And something told me go look down in the back, but it was like the patio section. So it was like outdoor stuff and it's cold out. But I'm like, I don't know. Something told me to go. We go and this lady's like, oh yeah, it's da 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 da. And I said, see? That I asked. This lady opened her mouth and gave me the answer. I didn't have to go far. And miracles are like that too.
If you can hear them, so that's the, when we in church, they call it the spirit of discernment, being able to hear the things that you need to hear. I think in this.
Well, there's only one voice, girl. There's only one voice in
that's
here.
What I'm saying. They call it.
That's the only voice.
Talk about titles. They call it.
Oh, the discernment.
It's all one. Like literally, it's all one. But so I don't even think I had. I retired from church moment. It was just like, one Sunday I woke up, started getting ready for church. Something came on that was very intriguing because I had been I've been kind of consistent in church since last year, February, just trying to get out that funk from my mom passing away. So I was in church, but I was like, wait, I don't understand some of this. Like, we need a Bible study or something, right? And the one night that it did have Bible study from last February now, I couldn't make it. So I didn't get to get that Bible study. But one Sunday morning when I was getting ready for church, something came on, and it came on Facebook actually, but it was a guy on there talking about a book he was reading, and he just started talking about what the book was saying. So I sat there. Next thing you know, it's almost noon, and I had missed the whole church service. So it wasn't even intentional. But then I noticed I got my notebook out. I'm writing and taking notes, and I'm like, "Yo, this is good stuff." Like so. But it helped clarify a whole lot of things. So I was like, so this is the Bible study that was needed opposed to the one that I thought
For
I needed.
you.
Yeah.
Right.
So then like regularly he would come on, he would give us more downloads, and I'd go, looking more into it. But I started feeling more enlightened to the point where I'm just saying thank you for just stuff that I hear a little, or thank you for just biting, chewing, being able to chew. Just girl, it just started. And
Everything.
that's the best I have felt since, I don't even know. Like the only time I can remember feeling this elevated in my lifetime was when I was in this group called Authentically Your Expression. But I graduated from there. So like, but why didn't I continue to feel like that? So that continued engagement was what I got from what that feeling that I felt with when I was there with
With
them.
those people.
Yeah,
Yep.
what I felt with him,
I'm
I
telling you,
realized it.
that's how like a lot of people, when we were on Clubhouse, we were in like a mystery school. We really didn't know. I had no, I didn't know when I was in what was going on. I didn't realize who I was around. I just happened to meet a bunch of people that were exactly like me. And I just didn't know that people were like dabbling in arts of different types and stuff. Like here I am, like just like a regular person that just is a little different, not knowing that people are doing all this stuff. So we're learning from all these different people. But when you get a group of people together who already have all this knowledge, and then you put it in a room, like if we had like just two of us on here, is amplifying the energy out of like this type of work, this energy work, it amplifies it out by like 25. Two people, I forget what the ratio is. It was like one person in a room affects like 25 people, two people was like 50 people. And like the amount of people together with the focused, intentional energy, you can do anything.
You can do,
You can do anything.
but y'all, we
Anything.
time before about the spells and the words, right? So if you really not aware of what you're saying, you could honestly be casting spells against
On
yourself.
yourself. Mm-hmm.
But think about it. Could y'all hear me? There was a place. I live next to the. I live in Beaufort, South Carolina, but I live in the area where there's a whole lot of military activity. So this goes on like all day and all night, where they're doing like flight activities, and it sounds like sometimes like the plane is in my yard. So I don't know how anybody might be able to work from home or even be able to watch a movie all the way through. Because I promise you, a plane is
We
gonna
got
come.
planes like that here too. Yep.
Oh my gosh! And it sounds like
We
they
live right
start.
next to the airport.
But like we were saying, the spells, y'all, they deep, like they're really deep. So at this point, right, because I'm aware of what's going on, I have been very, very cautious of the things that I've been even allowing to come into my mind. So like
Yep.
energy can't be destroyed. It can only be transmuted and transferred, right? So like, yeah, I try to transmute those thoughts so it wouldn't, manifest in the way it came in my head if it's not what I consider to be something that I'd be proud of.
And also you can feel it.
Yes.
Like you can feel, like I always think of like, back in the day there was like the ducks. Like, when you go to the fair, there'd be like the ducks in the water pond. Do you ever see those? And like you could pick
Yeah.
them up and there was like a number on the
Number.
bottom.
Mhm.
Like that's how, like, for me, like my whole thought just went out of my head. That was so weird. That was so
Because
weird.
you said fair, and when you said fair, right? Let me tell you what happened with that. So the nonprofit that I'm affiliated with, we're actually working on bringing a fair here in our city. And
That was really weird.
said that word, I was like, oh my gosh, I got to do X, Y, and Z in regards to that.
I was
So
like,
I messed up your. I think like really, I
no,
felt.
you're fine. I was like, what the fuck? What happened?
Yeah, I started thinking about, oh, I need to contact this person. I need to see
You're
what the
so funny.
requirements are. Like literally, that's what happened when you said fair and ducks. Because I smiled when you said that, right? But it was because I had
I
a down
forget what the hell I was even
too.
saying before that, though. That was so weird. Every once in my brain, I mean, look at even this conversation. We had like 87 conversations in one conversation. But that's how, this is how you know when people are really doing work and when they're not, you know?
And
I can
being,
tell, like, I've
ooh,
had people talk to me and try like have conversations, but I can tell it's regurgitated information. Like some people don't have a knowing. They
no
have a, oh,
authenticity.
I heard so and so and that shit sounds good, so I'm going to say it too. But they say it so many times and then they have nothing else to say. So it's like, but I see a lot, like, and especially over on TikTok, you could tell, like, when people are calling themselves all these names, I'm like, all right, never mind. Scroll. Because when you need to identify so much, it's the people pleasing. It's look at me,
Mm-hmm.
validate me. But if people hear what you're saying, it takes a little bit. Because even I notice now, people are starting to like hear what I'm saying and be like, oh, wait, no, that is true. Oh, wait, you did say that. Oh, wait, that did help me. So now people are starting to see, okay, this girl did change her life. She did transmute all the energy. She did all this stuff. And I know people see it with you too.
Absolutely, girl.
I
Listen,
know people see it.
at one point, people be like, T, you changed, and I'm like, nah, I'm still the same me. I will cuss somebody out. No, at this point, like I'll say I might say it on social media. I'm not gonna cuss nobody out because I don't want nobody cussing
I
me out.
know.
Like,
Exactly.
don't
I know
treat
I get mad still. I just don't do the same
yeah,
stuff.
that's it.
I still can get annoyed
That's
because
it. But you know
like
what? I learned how to
it
and
doesn't
not,
engulf you the same.
yeah, and not reacting, but actually taking that moment to pause. Oh my gosh, y'all, that could save you so much. Like
Powerful.
embarrassment, so much of that moment where you got to go apologize. Just take a moment, because I have to remind Tiana, you ain't took that moment. You better you need that. You really
Mm-hmm.
need that. And it's okay to talk yourself through it, because y'all, we all talk about the journey of elevation, but nobody talks about how it doesn't look
How?
like what like it's not beautiful. It's not a
Mm-mm.
it's not.
Healing is the messiest
Yeah.
shit I've ever done. It gets messier as you go.
Ooh, yes,
And
baby.
the deeper you go, the deeper you go, the messier it is. But what I've learned is that the more you do it, and the more you do it, and the more you do it, and the more you do it, the faster you move through it. So shit that I used to be taken out of the game for like 3 weeks over, I'm like pushing through that shit in like an hour. I'm like,
And
bro, I don't have time for this shit. Goodbye.
I just said the exact same thing, like things that I took long
Done
to
with it.
process and be like, oh my gosh, I don't understand why this. Baby, listen, people gonna be people.
Nope.
They're gonna do what they want to do. But when you got an assignment and when you're called for something, they're supposed to. They're on their
It's
job.
not,
They're
yeah.
supposed
They're
to.
on their they're on their flying monkey position.
Yes, they supposed to. Like,
The
but if you
flying
do
monkeys are out in force lately.
baby, you talking about monkeys, but hey, listen, you know the monkeys
Flying
are not
monkeys.
here.
The Wizard of
Walk
Oz.
away from
I'm
me.
telling you, it was a revival. The Wizard of Oz. The other day I got this download. I was sitting there and I was like, everybody keeps talking about Wicked. There are an awful lot of fucking flying monkeys around lately. Because I have like people watch my shit so hard. I mean, I didn't know I was so entertaining
There
and
you
so
go,
interesting.
talking about the monitoring spirits. That's why I haven't been
I
posting.
just
Oh,
no,
baby,
that's why you post. That's why you post because the monitoring spirits, right? It's almost like you have to defeat them by
I
being
needed
more
that.
of you.
I
You
needed
have
that.
to, because if you don't, they're like, oh, we got her. Got her. Oh, you're not on your job because you're not speaking your truth. Got her.
Thank
No,
you.
fuck that. Fuck
Ooh,
that. No,
thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
you're
Yeah.
welcome.
Thank
No,
you.
you're welcome.
Much
No,
gratitude.
that, no.
I need it like because I'm
You
really trying
gotta
to
tell
back
them.
down. Like I'm really trying to because I know I'm very passionate about the things that I'm passionate about, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my passion comes off as aggression to those who perceive it as that.
But that's, again, not your problem. And that's one thing
Exactly.
with being obedient. Being obedient is knowing that when you're not coming, like whatever I'm speaking, I'm never coming up from a place of animosity or being mean. I'm
Mm-hmm.
just telling you how I'm perceiving what I'm seeing. You're going to take it how you want. You're probably going to get mad. And then you're going to come back. How many people come back and are like, I didn't want to listen, but,
Yeah.
or I didn't want to hear that, but listen, I'm not telling people shit because I want to. I'd rather not say anything, but it's because I have to be obedient to what I'm hearing.
Speaking of that obedience, so Melissa, that's where I was going at with that conversation when I was telling you, girl, this work in the community is not, this is not for the weak. Because while
Mm-mm.
you're helping people and more people should be more supportive because wait, I'm the only one that's affected by the gun violence in our community now. If you've been following me and just, which you do, there were GoFundMe's up for funerals like almost 3 weeks back for
I
teenagers.
know.
Why we normalize
Terrible.
that? So why would not at this point? I feel like everybody should have been trying to get at me or trying to find out who Project Freedom 326 is because we stand on business, like for real, for real. Like we try to create those opportunities, but the thing is, right? We're a nonprofit and people looking for us to do things. But if we collaborated more, we wouldn't be so
Mm-hmm.
burned out. Like because we could have programming 52 weeks of the year, right? But somebody else could be doing it, and we could all be supporting each other.
Exactly. And that's really like when we work together collectively, you hit so many more people because you have so many more eyeballs on you. But let me ask you, okay, I want you to tell everybody where they can find you, only because it's 9:30 now, so we've been on for an hour. But tell everybody where they can find you. Tell us about the nonprofit. This way people know what you're about, know what you're doing, and how they can come and support you. Because if you're the people that are watching this are people like us that care about what the collective people.
Absolutely.
So share with us everything that we need to know to get in touch with you, find you, so we can come and support you.
Thank y'all so much for even tuning in to see me, Big OT. My name is Tiana. On social media, you can find me directly. My name is Mayat TT Lupe on Facebook. On Instagram is Onyx918. However, the nonprofit, y'all, we about our business when it comes to that. We about the community. We're about going back and getting it. We're about collaborating. We're about going back to what culture really is, not just, speaking like you from a certain area or eating like you from a certain area, but getting back to what culture really is, which is the village, taking care of each other.
Yep.
But it's Project Freedom 326. And you can find us everywhere at Project Freedom 326. Our actual
Okay.
website is Project Freedom. No, it's not. It's not Project Freedom. It's PF, the number 3, the number 2, the number 6. So it's PF326.org.
.org. Okay. I'm writing this down because I'm going to post it in our
Thank you.
post too
Thank
this
you.
way.
Um,
You
we
are very welcome.
we have been I've been out in the community, and the young lady that I started the nonprofit with has been out in the community. So we kind of collaborated to start doing events together, and then that's what it turned in to an actual nonprofit because we didn't have a nonprofit, we didn't have a name for it. We both had a vision. She was working on her side of town, I was working on my side of town. We knew each other, so we reached out and we started doing things together. So I think after the first Juneteenth celebratory event, we ended
Mm-hmm.
up, I think, establishing a nonprofit after that. But no, nonprofit wasn't the goal. The goal was to kind of get the community together, us unify, and us be seen in the community. We keep on asking these teenagers, the people that are creating the crime and the violence, and making the property value go down in our community. We keep on asking them for things that we're not willing to show them, so they have no clue what we're
Yep.
asking them for. We're asking them to do
Mm-hmm.
something different. Something different, like what? because they only do what they see us do, right? So
Yep.
why are we willing to show them? So we want to show them unity, but it start with us. Like right now, these kids having beef territories over where they live at. But guess why? If you look around Beaufort, that's y'all, that's what it's called where I'm from, Beaufort, South Carolina. But you look around, you probably see more things going on about land than anything. So if they see the adults and the people that are in the corporate world, the people that they grew up around, their grandmas and stuff, all fussing over land, what do you think they're gonna do? Fuss over the land.
Right.
So
Instead of
yeah,
focusing
on unifying,
mm,
and that's like, one of the goals is to make sure that there's always some kind of split in the population, so we won't unify. Because what happens when we unify? We all
oh,
start.
we'll take everybody down.
Yeah. So don't unify. So guess what? When they see that race wasn't working no more, they did religion. When they saw religion wasn't working no more, they start with politics. When the politics don't work no more, let's impose a shot on them and make
Something
everybody
else.
fuss about the shot. And yeah, so it's always going to be something, because we know the number one goal of the world is depopulation.
Yeah, you got that right, lady. It's really,
So
it's a
if we
lot.
unify, we probably can beat all that. Like, not to say we're not going to die, but when I was younger, I remember the elderly living until they were like in their late 90s. Now, my mom died
Mm-hmm.
at 66. 66.
My mom was 30, she was
Ooh,
38, and my dad was 57.
wow.
Babies,
Yeah,
babies,
like really
babies.
babies.
But that's why, like, what I'm doing now, like, I decided I'm going to live in tribute of the people who aren't here. Because everybody's like, oh, everybody's dead. Oh, God. All right. But are you living while you have the freaking opportunity? Or are you still crying over the dead people?
Well,
And I know it's harsh. I know it's
no,
harsh.
that's another thing that we've been tricked to. We've been tricked into thinking that, oh, when they die, it's gonna be so bad. No, that's like almost an honor when people die, because their energy dispersed
Mm,
based on how they live, their energy, like we
yep.
said, it cannot be destroyed. So that means what? It's going to be transmuted
It's
into
just
something else.
around. Yep.
Right. So, I mean, how you
I
live,
love it.
like, see, this is how I think of it. Either you live so good that you become something that get treated so royal, or you become something of royalty, or you were so horrible that you become like one of those, maybe a stray animal that nobody wants, nobody taking time to feed,
Yep.
nurture, and love on. That's how I think about it, in terms of death. But we've been taught to mourn it and to cry and not celebrate, somebody's life. I think
Right.
if we start having more conversations about it, the things they don't want you to normalize, the things they don't want you to have knowledge about, they don't want you talking about it because you think about it. That's another thing.
No,
Politics.
because it frees you. It frees you.
Oh, we don't talk about politics and religion. Why? Because we'll
Yep.
start
Yeah, because they don't want you
how
to.
y'all for believing some of the stuff y'all told us about religion with that and with politics.
Exactly.
If we talk about politics, maybe we'll understand it to where people will start showing up and doing what they should.
And
So
doing it.
yeah. So no, we
Yep.
don't talk about that. We don't, and we normalize not talking about something we have. How you gonna get to know about it if you don't talk about it?
Well, that's why, like, conversations like this, I had to do this. I needed this because people are
Yes,
not talking
needed,
about it.
much needed.
And not because, and for some people it's not even that they're not aware. For some people they've just never heard the concepts, and I understand. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, you know what? Like, I know for me, I have to share what I know to get new information. So that's why I'm like, I need to do this to get this information out that I've learned over the years. Like, now it's just I just love talking about all this stuff. I've always been this person. I just never had anybody to talk with.
But to
So now I'm like, I'm just going to make it up.
right. But Melissa, even to bring that to light, like, listen, when you learn something new, I don't care where you learn it from, where you see it at, either it's a fact and you're gonna go seek it out and find, more resources, or it's an opinion or something somebody made up, and you ain't gonna go nowhere, right? But in order to even know what you getting told, or to know anything about, you gotta go look up the information, right? You gotta seek it out. Some people are afraid.
No, you're not supposed to see. No, you are supposed to take the information and you're supposed to sit it in yourself.
Okay, so I
And you're
think
supposed to feel if it resonates in you, and then you'll be led to the information.
okay,
Being
so
obedient, because if you, so let's say you have a thought, right? And you think it to be true, but you're not sure. If you ask yourself, you already have all the information from all of your previous incarnations inside of your body.
oh no,
All of it.
so I think I delivered that wrong because what I'm saying is, as you know, say somebody who's sharing information, right? When you share this
Mm.
information with somebody, right? So I'm talking about not us as the sharers, but those as the receivers. When they get it, they don't,
Oh, okay.
yeah, they don't want to
Gotcha.
be responsible for even
For the knowing.
sitting with it, yeah, for even
Yeah.
sitting with it, yeah. That's what I'm,
It's
because
scary.
yeah,
It's scary.
that's what I
It's
was going
scary
to
when it
say.
goes against everything you know,
Yep.
your whole
That's
life.
exactly what it is. Because, oh my gosh, I've been taught, well, if that ain't true, then that mean that ain't true. And baby, your whole life, now you realizing
You
everything was a
die every
lie.
night. You die every
Everything was
night.
a lie.
Like every night when we go to bed, we die.
Yep.
You're not in your body when you're sleeping.
So
You're
that's
not in your body.
able to be in your dreams, though. That's how you're able to be elsewhere.
Yeah, because you're in the astral. Like when
Yep.
we're sleeping here, we're awake in the astral. And when we're sleeping in the astral, we're awake here. It's just a projection, but we're really on like a fucking spaceship in pods sleeping
So,
right now.
that's why when you fall in your dream or something, that's why you can almost, like, if you wake up like and jump, that's
Yeah,
why.
because you're falling into your
Yes,
body.
your body coming back into your
Yeah.
body.
Yep.
The movie
Girl,
Ghost.
literally.
That old movie
Yeah,
Ghost.
that's all.
Yes.
Yep. I love it.
Me too.
So I don't want to even end this because I love what we're talking about, but I have to go do laundry, unfortunately,
I went
at
to the
9:30 at
laundromat. I
night.
had so much of it, Melissa. My son went to boot camp, y'all. And when he went to boot camp, he left the room a mess. I didn't know what was clean. I didn't know what was dirty.
So you
So I
cleaned everything?
I put all of it in a dirty clothes hamper because he's a male.
Yeah.
So but I was sitting on that stuff since August. He left in August. Well, he's coming home tomorrow,
Uh,
so I had
oh,
to
so now it's ready.
go to the laundromat. I had so much of it, and I didn't want to, break down the washing machine trying to do like 10 loads of clothes.
I get it.
So I went to the laundromat 2
Yeah.
days.
So you're a good woman. That's what I'm about to go do now. But I don't even know. This was so good. I
Thank
hope if
you, thank you,
anybody is looking for Tiana, I'm gonna tag you. Obviously, you're gonna be
thank
tagged in the
you.
live. pf326.org is the website.
Yes,
And Project 326,
freedom.
Project Freedom 326.
Yes,
I just
that's
want to make sure I got it.
I'm just so excited. We had our first Juneteenth parade where we shut down a major city to be able to celebrate Juneteenth. So we did the first one. After the first year, you can start calling it an annual, right? So we're having
Yep.
a second annual Juneteenth parade in 2025, and I'm excited about that too.
Keep us updated. I'm going to tag you. I'm going to share this out. I'm going to have little clips so we can share it out.
Thank you.
And I thank you so much for your time tonight, my girl. I love you.
I
Thank
love you.
you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And so next week, I'm not going to be on because I figured the holiday, but I will be back on January 2nd, and Karen Clark is going to be my special guest that night. So I love you guys. I hope you have a great night. Tiana, thank you for being with us. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Love you guys, and I will see you January 2nd.
Yes, yes.
All right. Have a good night. Love you.
Love you.
Bye.